Hey guys, it's me Beata from Horoscopes and readings.com and welcome to today's video. Today I decided I would like to focus on Pluto Square Venus in Synastry, in particular if both parties, both people have this aspect, but obviously I will cover if only one of the partners have this aspect. But first of all, let me tell you that I would like to welcome you here. Please feel free to join me, in these YouTube sessions. I offer astrological lessons for you for free. Obviously, my audience is a little bit advanced, as you typically know what I'm talking about here, because this is like, deeper stuff. But if you don't know astrology, don't worry about it too much, because you can definitely book a reading with me and I will tell you everything what I'm able to. And it's pretty much a lot. A lot can be set from your synastry. So I mainly focus on relationships, but obviously it's not my only prophecy, because I can interpret any type of chart. I can prepare for a personality horoscope, predictions, everything and more. You can check out my website horoscopesandreadings.com, or you can simply write me an email. Everything is listed in the description below, and yeah, we can connect that way and I can help you. So let's do this, because this is very intense aspect. And recently I watched one video about this one, because I was curious about this aspect, even though I have a couple of videos, but still there is a lot of what is really happening with this aspect in particular. That's why I wanted to cover it. Squares are, in my opinion, the strongest aspects, because we don't feel trines or sextiles that much, at least at the beginning of the relationship. But what we definitely feel is a square. And what's really tricky about square is that we feel square as something exciting, right? Because square is that tension, but when it comes to Pluto Venus, it can be that, that exciting, fiery, fierce tension, and it's not friction, at least obviously at the beginning. So what I've seen, and let me tell you, mostly Venus person is affected. So yeah, sometimes I hear comments, because people don't like to hear this one. Obviously, if you have this aspect with someone and you are a Venus person, you want to hear that also Pluto is affected. Pluto is affected, but in very different way. And the more painful consequences are on the side of the Venus. So yeah, it's good to have it both ways, because you both are then equally affected. But what I've noticed, either you are Venus or Pluto, you will notice the other person very quickly, very immediately. That's that spark, that's that square. It's like you are curious about that person, because what is happening with Pluto? Pluto operates unconsciously. Okay, so you may meet that person, okay, and probably it depends on the level of your consciousness, but many of us, we are really not aware. We just meet someone and we have this intense aspect with we meet that person, and yeah, there can be like immediate interest, but it's like you feel drawn to that person from the beginning. But what is different, and this is where Pluto comes into play, is that even after that meeting, you feel very affected and you just, you just start thinking about that person, and you really don't know what's going on, why you feel so, why you feel so impressed, shall we say. But what is different, right? You don't know really what's happened, because it might be just, just that casual meeting, just one time meeting with stranger, but something has changed inside of you, and something, had effect, and it was something from your unconscious waking up. That's the Pluto energy, we don't see Pluto coming consciously. It's like that creepy, rather strange feelings and thoughts about that person we barely know, and this is how obsession pretty much creates, right? This is how obsession is created, because that's that square between Pluto and Venus, and Pluto and also Venus, is coming to tell us that there is a lot, there is a lot in this connection we could learn and grow, obviously. But problem is that if this particular aspect is not lived with very, very conscious mind, it can definitely ruin you, It's not an accident that people who are having an affair are having this aspect, because this aspect is very sexual, but not only about like body to body, it's more like psychological, and there's a lot of like attaching, one to another, and it's so difficult to let that person go. But somehow, as this relationship per se is difficult to live in a healthy way, so probably that's why there are always some other circumstances that are so difficult to deal with. So, maybe you're asking yourself, if you have this square with someone, if there is a chance to overcome it. Well, it depends on many things. Orb always matters. The wider the orb, the better for you, okay? Because if you have this square like with 0, 1 to 3, degrees, well, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's very unpredictable. Your reactions may become very unpredictable, like something you have never felt or said, because there are so many triggers on so many levels, and you pretty much have to be like some experienced Buddha to really handle that, handle that properly. But most of us, we are not so aware of what is really going on, but these triggers can be very painful. Suddenly you feel like you are jealous. You are jealous of this person, even though you barely know them, right? So this is not like common healthy reaction to anyone, but this is how this aspect can be triggering. This is how their Pluto is triggering you, and this is how their Pluto is pretty much changing you. I was definitely thinking about this aspect, because we all know what it can present. There's great passion, great intimacy, something where we really feel like we are this close, this close. But on the other hand, there's this coldness, so many triggers, so many emotions, pretty much Pluto person is pulling your Pluto out of you. This is what is happening. So your traumas, emotions you buried inside of yourself, emotions you don't want to deal with. So this is what is really happening here. So Pluto is definitely here. This aspect is here to wake you up. I will give you one example. If you live very, let's say, serious life, then you can definitely meet someone with whom you will have this square. Pluto Venus, it can go both ways, double whammy, right? And suddenly this person woke you up to your own excitement of them, but very wise thing to do is really to turn around your attention from them to you and start living your own passion and pretty much become passionate with your life, because this is what should be happening in healthy dealing with this connection. But most of us, we are not able to do so because there's so many layers of this square and so many is happening, even though you can be in no contact, but you see signs of them. There are still these thoughts about them, dreams even, and it can be difficult. Deepest attachment are created between Pluto and Venus, any aspect, but difficult ones in particular. This is aspect of I tether your soul to me. Okay, and that's why it is so difficult. So I would love to hear your experiences with this aspect. It's very fascinating, and don't get me wrong, I'm sure that there are people who have this aspect in a functioning relationship, but it's definitely a challenge. It's definitely a challenge to have, even though you don't see it as challenge at the beginning. You feel intensity, you feel attachment, you feel very, very strong love and lust and everything. But as time goes by, it becomes more and more difficult because Pluto always operates unconsciously, so there is so many like reading between the lines and so many triggers, and you really, in my opinion, cannot feel the other person, what's really happening with them, because you have so much to do with you. Okay, so there's like a lot of projection going on in this aspect as well. Okay guys, so that's all I have for you. Thanks for tuning in, thanks for watching. If you like it here, please hit the subscribe button, and yeah, see you next week. Bye bye.